Alright YouTubes, how are we all doing? Hope you're all well. Welcome back to the channel, thanks for tuning in. Really nice, lovely sunny day today. Reese is working outside. Right, so today's video, we've got a BMW 330 diesel M Sport touring in. And it's in for a repair to this wing. It's sort of been grazed across by another vehicle, and the arch is sort of in. I don't know if you can see that. And then it's scuffed, and it's just a little bit deformed, and a bit of a crown above here, and the arch is flattened off a little bit. So it's a bit of a tricky repair, but they're nice, good, solid metal on these wings. So yeah, repair to that wing. It scratched into the door, and Reese has just rubbed that out just to see what it was like, and then obviously blend the colour. So painting wise, this wing and this door, blend the colour within the door. We've already started it obviously, and stripped out all the wheel liner, and it's also rear bumper's going to be painted. Reese has already got that ready. It had loads of previous paint, poor paint on there, and was flaking off in places in some previous repairs. So just give it a good sand off with 320. Reese has addressed some of them repairs again, and yeah, that's ready for primer. And we're going to give the car a two-stage machine polish as well, so a heavy cut and a medium cut machine polish. So yeah, I'll probably just, well, I don't know what I'll show. I'm not going to say what I'm going to show in the video. I'll surprise you. But yeah, I'm going to record the repair on this, so I'm probably going to tackle this first. I'm not going to get the puller out. Just hammer and dolly and a flipper, get behind it, put some pressure on it, and just start tapping it, see if I can manipulate it to come out. And then yeah, film some repairing on this wing, and yeah, and painting obviously. So yeah, that being said, I'll get the camera set up and start repairing this job. Right then YouTubes, I'll give you a little talk through this job. This job's going to be split into two parts. So this first part's going to be the repair stage and get it up to the primer stage, and then the second part will be the paint preparation and the spraying of it. So yeah, this job was a little bit awkward on this wing. They're a little bit of an awkward shape where the damage is, and the feature line sort of is sharp at one end, and then it sort of, as it comes down the wing, it fades out a little bit, so it can be a little bit awkward to block in there. So initially I'm just trying to get the line back out, because the line had flattened off in that area where the car had sort of brushed against it. The weight of the car just sort of pushed the wing in, but they're nice and solid, the wings on these BMWs. And yeah, so initially I'm just trying to manipulate it out instead of sort of trying to hammer it from the back. I'm just putting pressure on it with a curved dolly. Just get the crown down first. That will start moving the metal back to, you know, to where it should be. Instead of trying to hit it all from the back, it's better to put pressure on from the back and hit it from the top, and let the striking motion of the hammer or the flipper, whatever you're using, that motion with the pressure pushed on the back of it will just start tweaking the metal back to where it should be. So yeah, just getting that crown out first above the wheel arch, that'll help that feature line to come back out. Then I can concentrate on manipulating that bottom lip. Oh yeah.
I spoke to somebody yesterday about bringing my car in to be looked at.
Yeah, that'd be me.
Now I'm using I suppose you call it the toe-shaped dolly, to start pushing that arch out now below the feature line. So again, just putting pressure under it, quite a bit of pressure, and then yeah, just using the flipper so it's nice and flat, and as you tap it you can sort of see in the broken paint where it's sort of pushing it out, and just sort of take your time a little bit. It's yeah, it's quite critical to get the wheel arch looking right, because when the wheel's on there, you can notice it. So you've got to keep looking across it, keep tapping away as it brings out, and there's sort of like a little bit of a kink in it as well there, and where the lip of the arch folds underneath, it changes shape, and it sort of kinks out a little bit. And yeah, I'm just trying to get right in that edge of that arch now, and yeah, it's just a bit of playing about really. So now I've got it where I need it to be, so now I'm sanding it all off for preparation for the filler to go in. So I'm sanding all that with 120 grit on the DA, and yeah, not bare metal in it, but giving it a good key to get some filler in there. And as always, give it a good degrease. Always want to give it a degrease, get any dust residue and any other residue that may be on there. It all helps with the filler bond into it. Mixing with filler. This one on this job, I'm just using Evercoat Rage Ultra. Really nice filler, really nice and smooth, easy to rub. And it's quite a warm day today, so trying to get it in there without it going off on me. So yeah, first skim in there. This filler, you sort of apply it in layers. You don't just bulk it in there. It doesn't like going in like that. So you sort of just build it up in layers. Every time you put a layer over the top of the lathe, just put on, it sort of sits on the top of it. And I'm trying to get a bit of that feature line in. I missed a bit of the footage of rubbing the first skim down, so here's a little bit of it that when I remembered to put the camera back on. And yeah, just trying to get that arch. You can sort of see a little breakthrough in the middle there, which is where the wheel arch is a little bit kinked there. So obviously trying to block it level is showing through. It's a little bit tricky at the bottom of that wheel arch, as it sort of, the wheel arch sort of softens up as it goes round and fades out. So you sort of got to try and get that line in, but not too sharp there. So a little tap down on that high spot, and yeah, putting the second skim in now. You can sort of use this filler as obviously for repairing dents and imperfections. You can use it as a finishing filler as well. It's sort of like an in-between. It is really nice filler. It's a little bit different to other fillers on the market.
Let's get in, man. So it was almost there. Just needs to get a bit more of a definite line in it.
It's like this, you can't paint it.
Well, I'd have to. Just can't put no heat in the booth, which takes forever to dry the Waterbase. Look, even on that bumper yesterday, using that A&I on the heat setting, because if I put any heat in the booth, it's well over 30 then.
Yeah, it's getting out.
Just to make the air warm, you know. I only need heat in there just to make the air warm. But then obviously it makes the whole ambient temperature hotter then.
Is there like certain temperatures that you can't put lacquer on then?
Wow.
Is that what it is?
I'd have to use that HS35 really. 35 degrees is probably your max. Well, they will. You have to. Then you got to start using extra slow stuff.
What about less thinners?
Well, CX2 don't have thinners in it anyway.
So it's because the heat is making it like runnier.
Yeah. Yeah, like CC9, you'd probably put less thinners in. I probably was just going to leave that like that actually. Do you need any?
Right, so a second skim now, was putting a bit of guide coat on there. I rubbed the first skim down with 120 grit, and this second skim's 180 grit now. 180 grit flies through that Evercoat Rage Ultra. It's easy to rub with 180 grit, so you can get a fairly smooth finish in your filler, you know, from the off really. So yeah, so blocking that with 180 grit, just doing the section of it first, getting that feeling, you know, near enough how I want it. I leave a little bit more scope on there because I will finish this repair off in where it's 220 grip with Cubitron strips. So I use 3M Cubitron strips for all my sanding block work. So always leave a little bit extra in your filler. If you want to go down another grade to get it a little bit finer, it pays to not get your repair exactly how you want it, because if you've got to take a little bit more out to get your sanding scratches a little bit finer, you obviously could lose your shape a little bit. So yeah, just guide coated the top of it, so I can see where that line is and follow it and see that it, you know, it's going to look the same width all the way around. It does actually change size and shape, that wheel arch. So I've got it there now. I have gone over it with 220 grit, and it's just my final bit of sanding to get that line in a little bit more consistent, a bit straighter. Put a bit of tape on there, and then you're not going to sand the filler on the other side of that feature line. You won't sand that away, then you can get a real nice line in with some tape. And yeah, like I say, at the bottom of that arch it fades out. So my line's sharp now because of the masking tape that I put on there. So that's a bit of 320 grit on a soft pad, and I'm literally just taking the top off of that feature line just to smooth it out a little bit. Your primer is going to give you a little bit more of a smoother definition in your feature line anyway. So yeah, that's the repair done. Finished off in 220 grit, and just sanding around all the filler now with 240 grit on the DA with a soft pad on there, an interface pad. Get all of those sanding scratches out in the paintwork around it. You really want to get all them scratches out from your block work, because it will cause a bit of sinkage, or it can cause a little bit of sinkage later on. So yeah, a DA scratch is just a little bit softer. It's not so aggressive as having scores in it from the block. So that's all that bit done, and I'm just sanding the rest of that wing off with 500 grit. We're going into that door, there's a bit of a scratch, so I've sanded the bottom half of that door with 500 grit, and the rest of it I'm just prepping for blending. So the rest of it that's got no paint damage or any of that, I'll go around that with, that's 800 grit now on the DA in the blend area. It's a dark colour, so I don't need a massive amount of room to blend, as long as I can sort of fit it in the colour within 3/4 of that door. That gives me plenty of room to blend. So yeah, that's 800 grit on the DA now in the blend area, so I'm prepping it all up for paint before I put the primer on there. And Reese is just going around all the bits that I can't get in with the DA with 1000 grit soft pad, and then all my edges will be sanded with a grey Scotch-Brite. That's it, it's all blown off and cleaned off and degreased, and I'm just masking it up now for primer. So I'm just doing a hard edge mask right on the top edge of that wing. You don't really want to do a soft edge on apertures for primer, because you could get a bit of primer creep through onto the inner edges where you may not get some paint to cover it. So hard edge is not a problem, even if you have to prime right up to that masking line. Where it's a hard edge, you can easily just knock that edge off with, when you're prepping. So yeah, a bit of a back mask on that hard edge, and yeah, just take that back mask down, and then we'll put some sheeting over it. Little soft edge there where I don't need to get any primer up to, and I've wedged a bit of tape between that gap so I don't get no primer going between the wing, on the inside of the wing and inside of the front of that door. And yeah, a bit of a hard edge mask along there as well. And yeah, I keep loads of little odd bits of sheeting that maybe end rolls that are not enough to cover a whole car, and they're ideal for little spot primes because you can sort of use them up, you know, if you don't need to sort of cover the whole car up. I know it's probably a little bit tight with me, but yeah, when you're paying for all these materials, a lot of them are not cheap. I like to utilise every bit of material that I've got really as much as I can. And yeah, it wasn't enough for the back edge of that door, so just stuck a little bit of paper over there, but that uses a bit of sheeting up. So yeah, it's ready for primer now. So it's Mipa 4+1 with it's their high build mixing ratio on the system, and I give it 3.5 coats. So the first coat a little bit light, and then yeah, 3 sort of wet coats. So that's pretty much it for this video. It's in primer. Yeah, the next part of this job, part 2, will be the preparation, masking and spraying of this repair. And I hope you enjoyed it, and please like, share and subscribe and all that good stuff, and we'll see you again in the next one. Look after yourselves. Cheers.